Hello, welcome back to a brand new episode of Sam Talks Nerdy. Hope you're happy, doing well, dominating life, crushing it, kicking ass, taking names. At long last, after 2 years of waiting in agony, Invincible Season 2 is here, and I am very excited because for those of you who don't know, I am a die-hard Invincible fan. I read it before it was cool. I am very excited for this season because one of my favorite villains, next to Battle Beast of course, is the main villain of the season, and that is Angstrom Levy. And also I'm glad that's finally cleared about how to pronounce his last name because for a while I've been saying Levy and then others have been saying Levy, so I'm glad it's confirmed. Levy. I mentioned in my quick review of the first episode that non-Invincible comic readers are in for a surprise when it comes to Angstrom Levy because things get wild with this guy. And thus, I want to do a Comic 101 on Angstrom Levy. Let's get into it. Not much is really known about his early life. All that's known is that he's always had the ability to open portals to other realities. He would eventually get this idea to travel to all these different universes and collect his variants to get knowledge on their universe. And he was doing this because he wanted to, well, improve our society. He wanted to use resources that we didn't have that were available in some of these other universes. And he would do this by building a machine that would implant their memories into his head. And to do this, he would get the help of the Mauler twins. The machine would get built and the process would start, but when it started, this is when Invincible would show up and things quickly got out of hand. The Maulers would start fighting Invincible and start rocking him, and then a bunch of variants of Maulers would show up and start rocking Invincible to where he is literally getting beaten to death. And Angstrom didn't want his blood on his hands, so he stopped the process and caused a huge explosion, killing all of the Levy variants and all of the Mauler variants except one Mauler, and leaving him disfigured. The process would be successful, and he would have all the memories of his variants, except he now wanted revenge on Invincible. And this is where the show and comic differ slightly, because in the show, it's the memories of his variants, or well, mainly the one from the post-apocalyptic. And this is where the show and comic differ slightly, because in the show, it's the memories of all of his variants, especially that one from the apocalyptic universe that drives him to want to kill Invincible. But in the comic, it's just him being disfigured and blaming Invincible that wants him to kill Invincible. And I actually flipped through my copy of the second volume of the Ultimate Edition to confirm this, and it doesn't seem to mention anything about him having the memories of the variants that drive him to do it, so I think that is mainly new to the show. Angstrom will later return to issue number 32 holding both Debbie and Mark's now little brother Oliver hostage. I will talk about Oliver when we get there. And a battle ensued where he would send Mark to various universes, two of those universes being the DC universe and the Marvel universe. And the whole thing would end with both of them being sent to a desolate Earth where Mark would beat Angstrom to death. However, he would find a way to come back. Thanks to a group called the Technicians, they would rebuild him, and after this, he would spend the next while spying on Mark while also gathering every single evil variant of Invincible. And this would lead to probably the most craziest arc in the comic, the Invincible War. His plan would fail, however, and he would also lose an arm in the process, and then be forced to work for the Technicians. He would later return one more time in Invincible 104 holding Eve hostage. He would send Mark to that same desert Earth that they fought on. But come to find out, when Mark gets there, there are some exiled evil variants of Invincible there. And there were only 2 left now because, well, apparently they resorted to cannibalism. Meanwhile, while Mark was in that universe, Eve was talking to Angstrom Levy and basically just being all, dude, what the heck are you doing? Because she basically just tells him, like, hey, you want to help the world, but now look at you. And he comes to realize that, oh man, I messed up. Like, I want to help the world, but now I'm evil and I want to kill this guy. So he decides, enough's enough, I'm done. So he brings back both Mark and Evil Mark and apologizes and wants to repent for his sins. Well, Evil Mark has some different ideas. Evil Mark takes Angstrom to his home universe, and yeah, this is where things get a little bad. Mark, with the aid of a robot, would follow Eve and Invincible to his home universe and find both him and Angstrom Levy, who was being tortured but, well, still alive. And this is where things would take a drastic turn, so spoilers for both the comic and, well, for Robot's story. In a twist, Robot would betray Mark. He would kill Evil Invincible, and then abandoned Mark and this universe by killing Angstrom Levy, so he had no way to get back to their universe. But of course, Mark would find a way to come back. And why would Robot do this? Well, basically because Robot wanted to take over the world, and he knew that Invincible would stand in his way. So, In the final issue of Invincible, it would be revealed that Angstrom has a son who has his powers, and thus it continues. And that is the history of Angstrom Levy. Hopefully you can understand when I say that people who don't read the comics are not ready for this guy, because, oh man, things are going to get crazy. Anyways, thank you for watching or listening if you're listening to this via my podcast. If you are, please make sure to follow me on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Spotify. Also, please leave me a 5-star rating and a good review where you can. If you're watching me on YouTube, of course, do the usual stuff, like, comment, and subscribe. And in the meantime, please make sure to check out some of my other videos, like my monthly wrap-up, which I'll have carded up here, and I'll have it linked at the end of the video. And until next time, stay well, stay healthy. Don't get powers that allow you to open portals to other dimensions. Don't collect your variants from said dimensions, and don't give yourself a super brain. And I will see you or talk to you next time. Peace out.